Jake Skin of the Boxed In podcast, delighted to be joined here by Adam Smith here in Sheffield. A brilliant GBM card. I mean, what are your thoughts on it, really? Stacked from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's a fantastic card. It's good to be doing a show again. It's been a really rough fortnight since the news about Ricky Hatton. And yeah, I think the boxing world has been really stunned, and personally I was very close to him, so my family. It's been a really hard time for the sport. But you know, Ricky would want us to get on with it. He was full of fun and infectious to be around, and loved fighters of all levels and all styles, and that's what we've got tomorrow night. So yeah, look, it's a bittersweet moment, really, returning to holding a mic. You know, I last did it in Belfast for the big Croc O'Donovan show, and a few hours later, one of my great mates was no longer with us, and I've taken it really hard, Jake, to be honest, and I'm not quite myself, but you know, you've got to get on with it. GBM got a big show, and it's a good show. Ben Crocker and Sean McComb is a fantastic top of the bill. Really looking forward to it in Ricky's old division. But yeah, it's a fabulous fight. You know, Ben is undefeated, and with Gary Lockett in his corner, we know you're going to get a lot of great experience, a lot of pressure, a lot of aggression. He'll want to win it hugely. But Sean McComb's a very talented fighter, and I thought he was robbed against Arnold Barboza Jr. I think he's a beautiful purist to watch, and I love his relationship with Pete Taylor. So let's have a look at what happens tomorrow. I think it's a really good fight on paper. Clash of two styles, good top of the bill, and then a great chief support with Tycee Gallagher back, the First Lady. She's had a difficult year in and out of the ring, and it's good for her to be back. She's very close to a world title shot. A lot of talk with all the great women who are under MVP now, and fantastic to see that happening for female boxing. I was in New York for Ramla Ali, for Chantel Cameron, for Ellie Scottney, for Savannah Marshall, obviously for Katie and Amanda Serrano. But if you look at Ellie and you look at Ramla, there's fights there for Tycee, but she's got to get past Ellie Hallowell. And Ellie's got nothing to lose. She's got no pressure on her. She's unbeaten, a bit like Ben Crocker. You know, they're underdogs, but they're very, very live and dangerous underdogs. I like Ellie's partnership with Jason Cunningham, former European champion, southpaw as well. So, look, if they get the tactics right and she can execute it for 20-odd minutes, I think she could give Tycee a real run for her money. But Tycee's got the experience. Tony Pill and the team know what they're doing. They're very close now to a world title shot. So, bar any ring rust, that inactivity for Tycee, she should have probably too much seasoning for Ellie. But it's a very, very interesting fight. I think it all comes down to rhythm, and if Ellie gets into a good start, picks off 2 or 3 of the first rounds, it could get very interesting. But we thought Tori Ellis-Willits would have a real chance against Tycee, and she shut up shop there and she managed to get the win. So, look, I think Tycee should come through it, but it's only a should. Again, and I think Sean should come through, but Ben Crocker's got a live chance in this, and that's what we want to see on GBM shows. We also have the return of lots of good fighters. Amar Akbar's on it, the farm boy Ed Hardy, Shaquille Thompson back, Dr. Steele. Really good to see him, 14-0, 10 knockouts, a danger to any middleweight in Britain, maybe even the world one day. So good to see Shaq back. And a really interesting fight between Gradis Krause and Scott Forrest, who was going to fight in Dubai this weekend, but Dubai's not worked out for him, but Sheffield has. So he looks in great shape, and he's obviously big, and he's a cruiserweight, and Gradis is going up in weight. I saw him carrying a bit in his shorts, Gradis, and wanted to weigh him with his shoes on as well. So he's giving a lot of weight away, but we know how good he is. You know, he's a very, very powerful and fast light heavyweight. So that's going to be explosive while it lasts. Good GBM show in Sheffield, tinged with the sadness of what happened, 10, 11 days ago. And hasn't really sunk in still. Coming to me in waves, talking to the Hatton family a lot, and my heart just goes out to Ray, to Carol, to Matt, to Jenna, to obviously to Speaky, to Campbell and Fern and Millie and Layla, all of them. It's tragic, and anything we can do in the boxing community, we will for them.
Spreading the word there, obviously massive, like you say, and Ricky was just such a massive figure, and obviously it has hit you very hard, but Yeah, it is just sad news, really, isn't it? And I think it will take quite a while for it to sink in, especially for people like you. You were so close to him, you knew him so well. Do you think there is anything that really, kind of just speaking about him and, continuing the kind of Hatton legacy, would you say?
Yeah, Paul Speak was saying to me the other day, he was the closest to Ricky, and he said that he just hopes that his legacy will carry on. And I said, Paul, it will never be forgotten. There will never be another Ricky Hatton. And look, we'll all do our little bits that we can. Yeah, look, I grew up in boxing with Ricky Hatton. I was close to Joe Calzaghe, to Lennox Lewis, lots of others. Oscar De La Hoya, Diego Corrales, Floyd Mayweather, lots of Naz, lots of fighters. But yeah, there was something very special about Ricky, and it's really, really sad. But yeah, it will all live on. Everyone's had a picture with Ricky Hatton. Everyone's got a story about him, and I think the generation of fighters that are inspired by him as well. The young, like Dalton Smith's just saying to me, he was in the crowd at 13. Anthony Crolla in the MEN, winning a world title in that same arena that was the Hatton Fortress. And the young reporters like yourself, Lewis Hart's reached out, said, look, I never really knew Ricky. I didn't really, but so yeah, of course, we'll tell you all the stories. Some you can't repeat online, some you can. Great fun moments, times off camera, on camera, in the gym, out the gym, in the family house, on the Vegas Strip. Seeing a lot of people like Gary Lockett, a lot of people around boxing that are around with Ricky, it's sad. It's really sad. Yeah, it's really sad.
Well, you speak about stories, and that is what boxing's all about. It's all about stories, and there will certainly be many more to come. A packed schedule on DAZN. I mean, October, Wardley Parker, that's a big one.
Yeah, fantastic schedule on DAZN. Nathaniel Collins next weekend, then Dave Allen, so Queensbury, Matcham. Then we got a great fight with Conway and Liddard at York Hall. I'm really looking forward to that. Then we got the Big O2 show. Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker. A huge fight, fantastic fight. Joe Parker needs it, and Fabio Wardley's got it. So, Fabio Wardley had the get out of jail power to deal with Justice Hooney. So you can never write him off. He's undefeated. He's got nothing to lose. He knows Joe Parker's been stopped before, but Parker's in a rich vein of form. He's in a great place with Andy Lee. So you got to expect Joe to find a way through, but it's not going to be easy. And I think it's a really, really good fight with a fantastic card. Then we got another Queensbury show the week after up here in the northwest in Manchester with Joshua Buatsi in action. Then we got the Heist, the tournament show in Hull, GBM show on DAZN. Then it's Eubank and Benn. Then it's Riyadh. It doesn't stop. It's going to be great. Yeah, a fantastic lineup. But at the moment, it's coming to terms with the loss of Ricky, and I'll be honest, it's going to be tough commentating tomorrow night. Yes, I've got to switch off and be professional, but I've been doing a lot of Ricky tributes, and I'm finding it difficult.
I will just ask one more question, Adam. Ricky, he was someone who, really cherished those big nights. He had that fan base. And Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, two fighters who sharing a massive night between them. We saw what happened in the first fight. What do you think that Conor Benn has to do differently in the rematch to potentially come out victorious?
That's a good question, and Tony Sims will have done his homework. And I said before the first fight that Tony is such an important part of the whole story because Conor fights with his heart, and he did at times, which made it an incredible battle. That Chris was a little bit maybe smarter, especially down the stretch, to win the fight. So Conor's got to get his tactics right this time, and he's got to. Chris will want him to bite at the press conferences and also to bite in the ring, because he knows then that if Conor loses his head, then that plays into Chris's hands. So I think Conor needs to be tactically more astute, which I think he will be. I think he'll be more mature going into this fight. But still, you've got to say Chris is the favourite because he won the first time. So, and he's got Bomac in his corner, and Bomac, as we know, is the man of the moment. So, look, Chris is a very intelligent guy in and out of the ring. But it's going to be interesting. A few months on, he'll be a little bit older. The weight, Conor having fought at middleweight, he'll know that now. He'll know he can go the distance with Chris. Yeah, it's a really interesting fight. The fans hope it's round 13 and we get another pulsating tear-up, which was so good. The first Benn Eubank Senior, the dad's fight was fantastic. The second a little bit more cautious at Old Trafford. But I don't think this will be. I think this will light fire again. Might be pockets of fire rather than the whole way through, but I think it will be a really exciting fight, and I can't pick a winner.
Adam Smith, always a privilege to interview yourself. Thanks so much for your time.